Hello, my name is Aaron Magruder. I'm going to talk very briefly about the dispositions required of a teacher and what I already possess. So, one of the questions that the survey asks is the idea that educators should believe that all students can learn and should set and support realistic expectations for student success. That's something I strongly agree with, and it's something that I do think is necessary as a teacher. If you're going to be a teacher and you don't believe that your students are capable of success, then your students are going to feel that and they're going to react, right? If in giving a student an assignment, I'm already convinced that that student is incapable of doing that assignment, then that student's then not going to try. They're not going to attempt to do it. And I think it's also very important that in giving that assignment, that it is something that's realistically given, right? So if we're giving something where that the class is not currently prepared for, then we need to rethink where we are at the time. It also talks about the idea that educators should promote social justice and equity, maintain appropriate standards of confidentiality, and exercise fairness in all areas, including assessment. I think one of the greatest challenges that we're currently facing is this push towards equity and this push towards being equitable in our actions. I think that in looking at a long-term scale, social justice is primarily done through education because the way in which different people groups are able to advocate for themselves is primarily through education. Um, Without the understanding of what you're missing or without the understanding of what you're being discriminated against and what those standards are is very, very difficult to make a push for change. And so in order to reach that point where you actually can experience change, we need to be educating those groups. And so that makes it extremely important that in educating we're looking beyond the way in which things have previously been done, and we're looking at the ways in which we can actually reach those groups that have been historically marginalized, even if that's not a group that might necessarily spring to the top of your head. In connection with that, it's extremely important that we're fair in our areas of assessment. And by fair, I don't just mean that we're grading tests evenly. I think, especially for math, when we're talking about very simple problems, that's very easy to make sure that we're grading evenly, but also to make sure that we're giving equal access to the different types of problems that we're having. If in doing word problems, all of the word problems are something that your white students regularly experience and it's something that your black students do not regularly experience, then that's going to be a problem because that actually gives some of your students an unfair advantage in doing that test. And so that's something that we need to directly address if at all possible. I also think that I'm very strong in my ability to promote and support curiosity and encourage active inquiry. I think a lot of the teaching that I've been doing has been primarily project based, which does give space for that active inquiry. And also the idea that educators should model integrity by their words and actions. I think that that's something that's important not just for educators, but that's important for everyone. The one primary area of growth that I do want to explore as I move forward is just my ability to project warmth. I know that I experience warmth, right? Like I experience concern for students, but I think my primary concern is how to convey that in a helpful and reflective way. Finally, in speaking about what a professional educator looks like and how do they behave, I mean, they look professional and they look like they are in control of a classroom, but they also look as though they're approachable. And I think the biggest hurdle as a first year teacher is really finding out where that line is. And because the line for professionalism is different at a middle school level than it might be in a corporate setting. And so attempting to discover where that line is and stick with it, I think that's the biggest transformation that I'm experiencing currently. I want to thank you for watching this video. Have a great day.